Hello, I wanted to post this so you could see what we did on Thursday. On Friday we just had waffles and didn't do any math because we weren't really in the mood. But Thursday we were in the mood and we did a lot of math, and that was the 19th. So I just wanted to tell you what we covered in class and what the assignment was. The product to sum IDs, which I think you might have seen a video on previously, but here this is for taking a product. We have two things that are multiplied and changing it to things that are added or subtracted. So we're changing products to sums. So those are the four trig IDs for that. And then we went from a sum to a product. And you can see here, the light isn't too glary, you can see here that the sum on the left becomes a product on the right. So those are the sum to product IDs. And I believe you saw that development. If not, they're all there in their final forms for you to use. So here's how we will use those in the assignment. We have 4 cosine pi over 3 sine 5 pi over 3. And we know how to simplify that. It's on the unit circle, and so is that. But the command is different here. It says to change the product to a sum. So we're going to have to go up here and find a product to sum where there's a cosine sine. So I go back up here and I see cosine sine. So I'm going to have to follow this trig ID. So keeping an eye on that. I think it's still in the screen. I see a 4 in my problem, so I'll just write the 4. And then the trig ID for cosine sine will follow, and I'll put this in for A and this in for B. Alright, see if I get any more better lighting on this. Okay, maybe that helps, maybe not. I always have a glare somewhere. Alright, so with this is my A, I'll put it up top. And this is my B. I'm going to follow the trig ID up here where it's cosine sine. So I put in a 1/2 and then sine A plus B. So that's going to be pi over 3 plus 5 pi over 6. Just following the formula. Minus. And where'd it go? Sine. I wish I could get it all in at the same time, but I'm going to flip-flop back and forth. Minus sine A minus B. Sine A minus B. Alright, so the only amount of simplification I need to do on that one is to combine 4 times 1/2, so that's a 2, and to add the pi over 3 plus the 5 pi over 6. So if I change this to 6, there's 2/6. 2/6 pi plus 5/6 pi will give me 7/6 pi, or 7 pi over 6. And, whoops, it's a negative sign. So now the negative sign. And then sine of pi over 3 minus 5 pi over 6. And that will be 2/6 pi minus 5/6 pi. So when I do that, I get a minus pi over 2. And if you look at your trig IDs, you'll see one that looks like this from our old list. It says sine of a negative angle is going to be the negative of the sine of that angle. So this negative sign can jump out in front like this. So this can jump out in front, and when it does, it causes a double negative out here. So I can simplify that to this using an old trig ID. So we could go further because we know the sign of this. It's on the unit circle, as is this. But this is where we stop because the command was to change the product to a sum. So we have our sum. This could also be a negative sign. That's a special sum. So it's just be adding a negative number. So this is the answer. So it's kind of tricky knowing where to stop, but this, when it looks like this, you're done. Alright, so in that section, 5.5, we'll be doing ones like that for numbers 63 to 70. Then, on another section, we'll be going the other way, changing a sum to a product. So here we have a sum. Negative subtraction is a special case of a sum where you're adding a negative number, and we want to write it as a product. So this is my A value and this is my B, so it's just going to be plug and chug. So we go back up to the trig IDs that we need for that. Notice this one is sign minus sign. So I see sign minus sign right here. So it starts out with a 2. So I'm going to do that as well. 2. Then cosine. I'm following this line. Let me kind of underline it so I can find it when I go back and forth. 2 cosine. See if I can go back and catch it. You can see it. So I'm on this one. 2 cosine, and it says x plus y over 2. So I guess in this one I should call this x and this y. Sorry about that. So, oops, I'm on the wrong one. Alright, this is an x and this is a y. So plugging that in up here, I get 2 cosine x plus y over 2. So in this example, I get 5 theta plus 3 theta over 2. And that, I took care of that. Now it says sine of x minus y over 2. So come back down. Sine of x minus y over 2. And all I have to do is clean that up a very little bit. And I get 2 cosine. This is 5 theta plus 3 theta over 2. This is 8 theta over 2. And this one's 5 theta minus 3 theta over 2 is 2 theta over 2. And cleaning that up a little more. 8 theta divided by 2 theta is 4 theta, and sine 2 theta over 2 is theta. So that's all they're asking for here. You can see I started with a special sum and ended up with a product, things that are multiplied together. So the ones like that will be numbers 75 to 82. I do not think anyone finished those. I think we started this section, and then the 95 to 100, I don't believe anyone started those. So you can, to catch up to be right where we are, you would go to like number 78. And I'll give you some of the answer keys so you can see if you're working along in the right way. So, starting out with number 68. 68, was it? Sorry, 63. Starting with number 63, we have this one. 64, I think, was one we did as an example just now. 65, 66, and we were going through number 70, so I'll take you down to number 68 there, and I'll let you try 69 and 70. without me, without the key. See how you do on those two. Then the other way, where you go from a product to a sum, we had to do number 75, which I think is the one we just did together. 77, 78, and where did these stop? At 82, I'll take you down to to 80, 79, 80, right there. And I'll let you try 80, 80, there's 80, I'll let you try 81 and 82. And actually, if you go that far, I'm sorry, you would be ahead of us. So probably people are around 78, but that's a guess. I'm trying to remember. So I think people stopped around right here. But you have the tools to go all the way to 80 if you desire, and you can try, you can try 81 and 82. All right, I also assigned number 95 through, I assigned number 95 through 100, but I do not think anyone got there yet. So that'll be our Monday chore. So I hope your break is going well, and I will see you next week. Till then, goodbye.